Well, hello and welcome. This is Stuart Siddell with the final part in our 8-part series as we take a journey into The Millionaire Next Door as reported by authors Stanley and Danko. Now I know what you're thinking, this being the final part, part 8 of an 8-part series, and you're thinking now would be the perfect time to go back and review all 8 parts in this series because all 8 parts work in a synergistic effect to give a greater overall result. And I have to agree with you. I think that would be excellent advice to follow. Now if you do that, you'll know in the last video, part 7, we covered that the wealthy are proficient in targeting their niche. They are proficient in targeting certain business opportunities where their capital and investments will do very well. Today, however, we're going to get to the final step in the process and the single most often asked question about the wealthy, which is this: who are the wealthy and what do they do? Now, according to the book, 20% of the wealthy households studied in America are retirees. They've already made their money and they've retired. That's 20% of them. Now, of the remaining 80%, very interesting, 2/3 of those are business owners or the self-employed professionals. Now that's really interesting because across the United States, less than 1 in 5 people are business owners, yet these people are 4 times more likely to be prodigious accumulators of wealth or millionaires as a result. Now that's not to say you should rush out and go into business straight away. You want to stay for the rest of this video before you do that. But this of course brings us to the second most often asked question about the wealthy. And that is, what businesses are they in? What do they do? And the authors over 20 years, they stress that these simply cannot be predicted. You just cannot know exactly, despite being pressed and plied by the media for an answer to this, like the top 10 businesses to be in for millionaires. And you know what, with my experience, because this changes, everything's changing, it's changing so fast and you just can't pick it. However, what they do stress is the character of the business owner is way more important than the business they are in themselves. And this ultimately brings us right back to the start where we started. And I'm going to take some license here myself and tell you that the characters of successful business owners will be that of a prodigious accumulator of wealth, as opposed to the under-accumulators of wealth. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you definitely need to go back to part 1 in this series and start from the top. Because again, if you have the right characteristics, I believe you can succeed in just about any business. Now, the authors do go on, and when pressed, they will answer the question. However, please note that these businesses do change from time to time. And here's where I'm going to jump in with a bit of my own experience and license here. In fact, I put out a book called The New Way to Make Money in Business Fast. And I highly recommend, if you're going to go into business or are in business, that you get this book and in fact read the first chapter, The New Business Basics, because I reveal 2 massive secrets in there and I'm going to reveal one to you now. And this is the fundamental mistake probably 99% of business owners make. When I ask, say, my best friend John, what do you do for a living? John says, I'm an electrician. This answer you'd get from most people, correct answer technically, but wrong answer if you want to be wealthy. John's answer should be this: I am a marketer of electrical goods and services. And this is the big trick, my friends. All the money is in the marketing of the business. We all agree that most people could make a better hamburger than your local fast food franchise. However, your local fast food franchise, and I'm sure you can think of a few names, are the most successful businesses in the world. Not because they make the best product, but because they are the best marketers of that product. And that's a really important distinction for you to make if you're going to go into business. So the book clearly states the average person should not rush out and go into business, because 80% of them, well 50% of them in the book are making no money whatsoever, and about 80% of them are certainly working too hard for too little. That does not mean that you cannot join the top 20%, and in fact you want to be the top 20% of that 20%, or the top 4% that make some decent money in that industry. So there's the big secret: to be a marketer of the services, and it doesn't matter what business you're in. Now, certain businesses from time to time are more profitable or have more advantages, and that's true. But you want to be a direct marketer of those products or services to be successful. Now, I'm going to add one final point here. The second book I have is The New Way to Make Money in Business Fast. And this is a powerful strategy, because if I think of one of my coaching clients came to me in 2007 and 8, his name was Wayne, second or third generation printer from Western Australia. Wayne's business was struggling. I coached him for 2 years. We got that business ready for sale, and in fact he did sell that very successfully at the time. Wayne now is doing our property strategies and just did another deal on the weekend that's going to have a minimum of 85 grand to $110,000 profit. He's done over 5 or 6 of these with the help of his partner in the last 12 months. Now, if you add that up, we're talking about a massive change in the results here. So I'm going to suggest to you, yes, you do want to be in business, and you want to be in the right business, and I think property is certainly a business you want to look at, because if you get that right with the new way to make money in property, well, the sky's the limit. Absolutely. I've seen it over the last 7 or 8 years with my life and my work and my business, and I'm encouraging you to do the same. So there you have it. That's the 8th part in the 8-part series. Go back and check out the other 8, and I look forward to your feedback when we next meet. To your success, this is Stuart.